let's talk about the variance and standard deviation of two different samples. So we have a sample of 5 elephants that have an average weight of 6,032.2 pounds and a standard deviation of 163.26 pounds. All right, let's go ahead and record that. So the average of the elephants is 6,032.2 pounds. The standard deviation of the elephants is 163.26 pounds. All right, we also have a sample of 5 mice with an average weight of 0.038. Oops, not elephants, but mice. Also measured in pounds, so they're significantly smaller. And the standard deviation of the mice, 0.009 pounds. So if we just compare standard deviations, it would seem like the elephants have much higher standard deviation, which they do because they have a much higher weight, right? If you only weigh 0.038 pounds on average, then that doesn't really give you a lot of room to have much standard deviation, right? So if we just compare these standard deviations, it seems like the elephants have more variation in their sample, but let's compute the coefficient of variation. The coefficient of variation is the standard deviation compared to the average. So it's how spread out the data is compared to the center. So we have a standard deviation of elephants, 163.26 pounds, compared to an average of 6,032.2 pounds. So when you perform this division, the pounds cancel. This is now a unitless quantity, and you get 0.027. So because this is a unitless quantity, this is actually a ratio, we can turn this into a percentage by multiplying by 100, and we get 2.7%. Let's do the same thing for the mice. The mice have a coefficient of variation of 0.009 pounds divided by 0.038 pounds. When you perform this division, the pounds cancel, and your ratio is 0.237, or 23.7%. So without dipping into coefficient of variation, if you just compare standard deviations, the elephants have more variation, but of course they do, because they weigh more. If you compare it to the size of the animal, and you compare it to the average, it turns out that the field mice actually have a variation that's about an order of magnitude greater than the coefficient of variation for the elephants.